You're such an asshole.
Because the internet in South Dakota is shit, I immediately have to turn off the camera. You all wonder why never mind. I'm not going to go into it. Let's get to the requests, and then I can get on with other work. Aaron, although but my new work, which includes calling up the internet people and saying, today it's going to be not nice, Cappy. Today it's get your fucking asses in here. You either provide internet access or not. Cappy, why didn't you do that before? Because I'm busy with other fucking shit. Cappy, why didn't you run the ball instead of pass? Said the fat pig on Monday morning, quarterbacking from his recliner as he collected his EBT chicken tendies that he put underneath his armpit. Aaron, although I'm sick of hearing so many YouTubers talk about how men's testosterone levels have supposedly been in decline for the last few decades, which is so obviously the result of men getting fatter and less healthy overall, absolutely. And I wish they'd shut the hell up about that topic. I'd like to pick your brain about something adjacent to it. I feel pretty strongly that women would understand men so much better if they try to see things through testosterone-colored glasses, so to speak. And men would understand women so much better if they were reminded how little testosterone women have. I know that's a very reductionist way of thinking about the two sexes, but I wonder if we've all been underestimating what the hormone does and what it means for men and women. You know, dude, it is simple. Look, why do you think the idea that women just don't like men that much is gaining so much traction? Because it's true. Oftentimes there are very simple explanations and solutions to things, but people don't want to admit it. Either because, guys want women, they want sex. No, that can't possibly be the case. Or it hurts somebody's feelings, right? No, you nailed it. You nailed it. Wait, really, let's look at it, all right? When you were a young man, right? Every guy, you guys probably went through this phenomenon. I did too. I remember the day I realized it. I was 27. But when you're a young man, you're just in awe, I guess, of women. Oh my God, they're beautiful. I have sex. Da, 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 da. And you don't listen to a word coming out of their mouths. But as you get older, could you imagine going back now and tolerating your average 24-year-old girl? You didn't realize it when you were in the thick of it, but they were dreadfully boring. They're dreadfully stupid, and they never said anything until, yeah, there were the occasional gals. But I remember when I was teaching, economics or statistics, and there was one of my students like, oh, yeah, totally bang her when she graduates. College. I'm not a white female Democrat teacher in the public schools banging my students. I waited until my adult college-age students graduated from college before I banged them. Did you really? Yes. I cannot recommend becoming a ballroom dance instructor or just a teacher in college. Enough for your dating strategies. Anyway, that aside. And this gal, I'm like, okay, well, this one, she's real cute. Oh, yeah, I'm in it. And not necessarily being intimidated, but being influenced by her beauty. Like, and putting her on a much higher pedestal than she was. Well, then this gal just outright plagiarizes a web page for her book report or whatever it was. I'm like, dude, what the hell? So I flunked her. Oh, then the knives came out. And then I realized it doesn't matter how pretty they are. She was trash. All those hot girls that, no, not all hot girls, obviously, but this one in particular, all these girls are just beautiful. No, that was it. It was just their beauty. And what made me like their beauty? Testosterone. And then when you get to actually see them for the person they are, like, oh, no, they're no different than anybody else. Everyone's an asshole. Everyone's a liar. This is where misanthropy comes in. Everyone's trying to cheat. That veneer ever so slowly wears off. For some men, it never does. I've seen baby boomer men on their 20th divorce. I got time to get married again, but I gotta get the pussy. I figured that at 27. Then I'm kicking myself in the shins like, oh, why didn't I realize this before? Some people never wake up. Some of them never realize you shouldn't wash your fifth ship on the rocks by the sirens. We know maybe we shouldn't watch the sirens. Maybe we should avoid the siren. Hey, maybe we should do like Jason and put wool in our ears, or whoever it was with that Greek thing with the Odyssey and not listening to the sirens. Maybe I shan't wreck a sixth ship against the island of the sirens. But I don't think it is reductionist, but you've accurately diagnosed the problem. Oh yeah, your heart's clogged in this valve right here. But I wonder if we've been underestimating what the hormone does and what it means for men and women. You had a video recently about a woman who flaked on a guy. You've also talked a lot about how reluctant women have been to agree to dates despite their abundance of options on dating apps and how it's gradually bankrupting the online dating business. Bankrupt. I don't think they've made a profit. Period. No joke. We can blame feminism, brainwashing, solipsism, etc. That's all a worthwhile conversation. But the more I think about it, the more I think that so much of this behavior is from women. So much of this behavior from women is because they don't have the powerful hormone that's abundant in men and motivates us to do all sorts of meaningful things or bad things or unwanted things. I'm not going to say bad things, but annoying things. Before you or any of your viewers misunderstand me, I want to clarify, I'm not just talking about testosterone that makes a guy more likely to work at a coal mine than a library. I really think it trickles all the way down to a woman's decision to flake on a date, or even just the decision to ignore the guy's text message instead of taking the 10 seconds needed to reply. Believe it or not, I'm sort of sympathetic towards women when I think about them having literally 10 times less testosterone than I do. It must have a profound effect on what I'm motivated to accomplish compared to them. It's not their fault. Anyway, Cappy, what do you think? Again, I know it's not that simple. No, I disagree. I think it is that simple. But I'm fascinated by the idea that one hormone could have such a massive impact on how men and women treat each other. All right. Oh, wait, do we have bandwidth now? Here, sure enough, now it goes away. Okay, I'm going to kill them all, Winston. I'm going to kill them all. All right, here's continuing on with the simple explanation. Yeah, your heart's clogged. This valve is clogged. Your tire is flat. I think you nailed it. If there's one issue, the crux of the issue is men do have testosterone and women do not have anywhere near as much. And what this causes is an impasse, a disagreement where men are very much interested in women and women are not anywhere near as interested in men. I'm going to, as always, put the asterisk, unless you're a 10 in the chat, but they might as well not even exist for the point and purposes of this. You hit that critical mass, women will do anything for the chat, right? So we're talking us normal guys, and even us pretty good looking guys, up to 8s, maybe 8.5s. When you introduce something that makes one party desperately even depend upon the other party, the power dynamics change, and it puts both parties in a sense an unenviable situation or positions, especially if the other party doesn't want to do it. For example, a drug dealer is more than happy, as long as his client has money, to keep that person stocked full of drugs, right? But if that person doesn't have money and they keep hounding, I need my fix, man, that gets very annoying and inconvenient for both people. And I think we're in the situation where there's the drug dealer, but we don't have the money, and we keep hounding the drug dealer for our fix. And that's kind of the same thing. If the woman likes the guy, you chat or wherever, it works out fine. It's wonderful. It's called love and that. But for the most part, I'm going to say out of 10, maybe 8.5 out of 10 times, the woman is just not that interested. And so what ends up happening is it's unfair to both parties for different causes and reasons. The testosterone, it's just like a magic drug. It enslaves you men. Like, you are now addicted to sex, at least until I go away. So it enslaves men. So men now got this need, this itch, this whatever, and it drives them to, build civilizations and hunt and do everything that we've done in history and all that. But you are a slave to it, very much like a drug. Well, it's a chemical. For women, if they're not interested, which 85% of the time, let's just go with that. Now, they've never asked for it. And like you, I'm sympathetic towards women. Even sometimes in the past, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was, I wouldn't say necessarily morally wrong, but that bothered her. Because these girls did not ask for you guys to be as interested in them as you are, right? If you're a hot, drop dead gorgeous man, fine, they're okay with it. But women aren't attracted to men they're not attracted to, right? You can't fault them for not being that's just the way they're programmed. This is not their fault. They don't have testosterone. No, I'm not a endocrinologist or a neurochemist by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know if more testosterone would make women uh, more attracted to men. Would it? I don't know if that, like, because testosterone obviously makes men more attracted to women. But is there a different chemical that will make women more attractive men? I don't know. Like, in other words, does testosterone universally make everyone more horny or only men? So I don't know if it's a shortage of testosterone, but regardless of whatever it is, women do not have that chemical. And therefore, women simply do not have an equivalent interest in men. And that'd be fine if men left them alone, or all you men were like Chads, but we're not. And so now women, unfortunately, for their entire lives, are harassed and harangued. I don't mean that in the modern day sense, but they're bothered by men constantly expressing interest in them. I likened it in times past to, you guys probably don't remember this, but they came out with was it the Super Nintendo? I remember one of the kids in the neighborhood got Super Mario Brothers 3. And he wanted to play Super Mario Brothers 3. There was no doubt about it. But he played it, right? He got it for Christmas or something and played his heart out, and he was bored with it. But every other neighborhood kid wanted to go play Super Nintendo 3 on his Nintendo because we didn't have it. We weren't necessarily the rich kids in the neighborhood. But he was bored. He didn't want to. He's like, no, I'm done. I'm not as interested. And we're still friends. He's a good guy. It didn't ruin the friendship, but it did annoy him. And it wasn't his fault that his parents bought him that. And consequently, we would have more interest in the game than he did at that moment in time. But that's just Super Mario Brothers 3. Then inevitably we all played it, we got sick of it, and we go play something else, Bloody Murder or Kick the Can, whatever. For women, it never ends until they lose their physical beauty. Right? So it's not like, hey, can we go play Super Mario Brothers 3? It's no, hey, sweetie, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. A constant attention, although now with testosterone going down, not to mention the existence of Nebraska, and an online quote conversation, or in some ways kayfabe theater of women like, don't you dare talk to blah, blah, blah. Men have backed off. They're not asking out women as much. They might do it on the internet. I think there you see more of empirical data because it's not impolite to send a text message. But yeah, for all of human history, women, they never asked for this burden. They never asked for men to have this interest in them, right? And it really helps, like you did, to view it from their perspective. Now, it helped women understand, like, yeah, what if you were addicted to a drug? That's why men are doing it. So maybe you could kind of forgive them a little bit instead of, I don't know, report them to HR and sue them and fire, whatever. Maybe you don't need, maybe you could just be flattered. In times, women used to be the thing called flattered. Now they just call the cops. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure some women are still flattered if men ask them out. But that doesn't change the point that women do not have an interest in sex that men do. Women do not have an interest in men equivalent to what men have in women. And out of respect, you should, I'm not saying don't ask out girls or don't flirt and all that, but it is to recognize it and realize that, yeah, women are just not that interested. And if it goes on for years and years and constant, I've talked about, it's like getting junk mail. And it really is I think that's the true nature to describe men's interest in women is junk mail. Every once in a while, you get an offer in the mail like, yeah, this is a good coupon. I shop there all the time. But for the most part, you hate it's so voluminous, and you so don't want it isn't what you want, you get pissed off. So that if, I don't know, some door-to-door salesman shows up at your house, you get angry with them. And I think you are right. This goes and it's all caused by testosterone creating this binary impasse, quandary, what mismatch, disproportionate, unfortunate situation we find ourselves in. And it annoys both. Men aren't getting what they want, and women are constantly hounded and harassed and annoyed with an offer they don't. There's no solution, right? I mean, you could I guess there is, like, you could, I mean, there's castration. You could take drugs to chill yourselves out. I guess guys are going to the Nebraska. Um, I would imagine, uh, because there's whatever, 150 million American women. The raisoning rate has gone down due a lot to, Nebraska and lower testosterone. Men are leaving you certainly men are leaving you girls alone more, right? And then the discussion of, "But I want the attention." But, yeah, but you don't want sex, which is a different market. It's a different product. That's a different discussion. But you girls are getting bothered less, correct? So that feminist request has not wholly been satisfied, but there's progress in that. Men are leaving you alone, but then you complain, "But men aren't asking us out." Can't have your cake and eat it too, but we're making progress in that way, right? You girls are being bothered less at work, right? 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 So the harassment has gone down. But this is there it will not go away simply because that's the way men and women are designed. So yeah, and there's this is the way nature, God, whoever you want to believe in, intended it. You gotta become an incredibly productive male in order to attract a guy, and not even attract. Back in the day, it was like just take care of. The number of women, and again, put yourself in their situation. The vast majority of women are not attracted to their husbands, and they never were. The vast majority of women had to settle for a guy because that's how they stayed alive. Very sympathetic to that view. And most of you girls are not attracted to your husbands now because a lot of times they got fat or you got fat, then he got disinterested, or you just got bored, whatever. You girls got sick and tired of playing Super Mario Brothers 3, and now you wanna go play some other game, or you just don't wanna play Super Mario Brothers 3. You know, the joke, what, every time you start dating, put a penny in the jar, that you have sex, and then after you get married, take a penny out of the jar, you'll never run out of pennies. It's true. I think it's a very astute observation, a mature observation you made. Yeah, look, girls, you're not that interested in sex, we get it. No joke, like, back in the day, yeah, you had to get girls drunk or they had to be on some kind of drug to just chill the fuck out and maybe enjoy it. Me academically removing any kinda biological or hormonal considerations or emotional considerations aside, like, I just don't get it. I'm like, "Okay, do you like orgasms? What's like, we got birth control, and let's say there's no STDs. I'm confused, like, you don't like orgasms? You don't like sex? What, "Hey, Aaron, do you want a free" here's once they came up with birth control, it's like, "Hey, Aaron, here's chocolate ice cream, but you don't gain any weight. There's no calories. It tastes the exact same. You can't tell the difference. It's just there's no calories. There's no cholesterol. It's guilt-free, consequence-free chocolate ice cream." And sign me up for that shit. But again, women, I don't think I hate to say it, I gotta logically they j they probably don't like sex. They don't like sex as much with you. I understand if you get Chad. I don't know, do you girls like orgasms? Probably not. I'm serious, probably not as much as men. If we look at testosterone, I think what was it, 1/10 or 1/9? I think it's 1/9. I think girls are real mad about orgasms. Like, "Oh, boy, I don't know about you." One in the comments section if you like orgasms. 2 if you're a man, and 0's like, "No, I hate orgasms." Then at that point, you're just kinda like, "Wow, I'm sorry for you, man. That sucks." But by this time, I think we could hem and haw all day about why. The simple answer is testosterone. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. This is how humans are programmed. But yes, it does help to understand and not get as angry. Like if you guys, I think a lot of anger from men comes by where they assume women were just like men because we were told that our entire lives and women were going to be just the exact same. And then they realize women aren't asking them out or they're not showing or they're not or there's like just a pain in the ass. It is a chore and a pain in the ass to go get laid. And men get frustrated, obviously, biologically speaking. And then they take it out on girls like, no, no, you were lied to from the beginning. Women do not like men that much. They do not like sex that much. Unless, again, you're this exception. Blah, 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 blah. And even then, I'm sure there's some gals like, no, I just don't like. And you know what? That's how they're programmed. And there's nothing wrong with it. But men have an obligation, responsibility to realize, like, no, I got the addiction. I really like sex. I really like chocolate ice cream. But a group of people don't like sex or chocolate ice cream as much as I do. You got to realize that's the other person. And if you want something more practical, yeah, but I'm still horny. I still want sex. Okay, fine. Go pay for it. I'm not joking. Just go pay for it. That's one way to deal with it. There's Nebraska. But think about all the work it takes to convince somebody to do something they don't wanna do. What exhausted me, long ago, I wrote an article called Player Burnout, and what exhausted me was the tooth-pulling nature of convincing women to go and have fun with me. Yes, I was the universal variable, I'm only 5'9", da, 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 your girl's attracted to you or not, I get that. But I would have saved a lotta pain, time, money, and agony that instead of I'd go on a date, right? This is a very common occurrence. Back in the day, you'd pick the girl up, and I would go to the Mall of America because you had movies and there was an arcade, especially when I was younger, like when I was 18 or 19 or 20, I couldn't drink. They had an arcade at the Mall of America, so we go play the arcade, and then we go to the movie, and then I think I even take them to like a little bit of a dinner. It was like a 19-year-old Cappy, right? Not your average 19-year-old still sucking on his mom's tits. I just that's all right, dude. And you could be even before we got to the Mall of America, I'd pick her up and she'd just not be talking. She'd just be bored. Now, ladies, you could say, "Well, she was shy or nervous." No, 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 no. It just they were bored. And you'd sit and you'd try and talk to them and they wouldn't have anything else and okay, what am I doing wrong? Like it's so much more in focus as you're older. They don't like you that much. A lot of times they were bored. Maybe you did something very first on that first date or that when you picked them up at the beginning of that date that put them off, right? Maybe Johnny asked them out and Johnny was better, but they committed to you and had to follow through on this reluctant date they didn't want to go on. It it wasn't you and it wasn't them. It was difference in hormones. You're very interested. You're not interested in her. You're interested in the sex. Let's be honest there too. But she wasn't that interested in I mean, a lot of times I think they're just bored and, "Oh, yeah, I'll go get a free movie." That's how bored they were. It's because girls didn't play video games that much. If you girls played video games back in the day, you'd have something to do. You'd have a much better life. And it's not that they're I mean, I guess in a sense, women were rude if they weren't talking on a date, but they just didn't wanna be there. And that is such a tire I a lot of the married men, like, you gotta get whatever, your woman to lose weight, your wife to have sex with you. Like, what a fucking pain in the ass. I'm not negotiating sex. I'm not negotiating, "Hey, honey, put on the fucking line." If you gotta tell them, it's over. I'm not and that's the practical argument I'd make. The practical reason you guys should come to understand that women's sex drive is a fraction of men's. They're not that interested, and it's okay. Because then they'll never tell you. Women don't have the balls or the courage to tell men, like, hey, I'm just not that interested. I'm just bored. I want to go get a free meal out of you. Or I'm just bored. Or I'm really lukewarm to you, and my heart's really set on Johnny. Whatever, fuck. Then you're not frustrated. You're not misdiagnosing. You're not trying to put in all these Herculean things and efforts. Maybe if I do this, maybe if I get a different tie, maybe if I take her here, maybe if I take her there. No, it's great just to know that women aren't that interested in men. That's it. My buddy doesn't want to play Super Mario Brothers 3. We could understand that in whatever, the 7th grade or the 6th grade. He's played it all night. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're right. Let's go play baseball instead. Okay, but can we play it sometime? I mean, it's really, it's very similar to married men's sex lives. It explains it. And because it explains it, it saves you time. You're not confused. It saves you effort. And you're not angry at them. And you shouldn't be. There's plenty of other reasons to be angry at women. Like, I don't know how they vote to like let every immigrant in and take away your jobs and drive up prices and increase your taxes so they can feel good voting Democrat because that's their new religion. I mean, there's that. But them just being born with a disinterest in sex and men, that's not their fault. That's what it is. And without that, you wouldn't have men achieving the great things and the innovations and war and defense and strength and all that we've done for eons past. You wouldn't have a species if it wasn't that way. So it's a sad reality for women. You know, if you really want to motivate your men, you could start fucking them and be hot. I know that's I know. It was horrible. But it would go along. You nailed it on the head. That testosterone. Yep. But you don't have problems with your buddies, right? Because most of us are straight. You just go out and who do you have a better time with? Of course, you have a better time with your buddies. With the opposite sex, assuming that you're not buddies, it's not platonic. Oh yeah, now you got because it's a negotiation. It's pulling teeth. Women are not that interested in sex. They're not, unless again, yeah, you're assuming. So there you go. If you don't believe me, hang on. Hang on. Dare I turn on the camera? The book of Numbers is analyzing the ROI and the pursuit of women. Basically, the first half of the book just bears out everything. Like it shows you via women's own actions how fractionally interested they're into men. It's right here. I want to have numbers because I think men are blinded by obviously their hormones and their emotions and tradition. Like, well, they always want to get married, don't they? And then you're like, oh wait. It's not a choice for them. They just don't like us then. Oh, now it makes it. Yeah, look, here's all their behaviors. Oh, that makes complete sense. The book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI and the pursuit of women, link below. Let's go to the super chats. We got 3. Did you know, Matt, 2 Canadian, unacceptable BMI today, marriage equals a pie eating contest? Yeah. Women, okay, I'll say it again. Women like food more than men. That may sound atrocious and sad, but it's true. And men like food more than sex. If you look at it, because if you men like sex, you wouldn't get fat. Both men and women have gotten fat. Women gain weight in the marriage, so do men, which is, I think, a sin against your spouse. You absolutely should be ashamed. If you get fat, your spouse has the right to go fuck someone else. Full stop. But yeah, it shows you that women just and again, men, because you like eating. They love food more than they love their husbands. There you go. Burbshide, 5 Australian. Some people aren't interested, but many are just socially inept. Same outcome. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field for $5. Correct answer is women don't like sex. Oh, sex or the orgasm add at the end with you or me. Correct. You know, you're right. You're 100% right. Now, every once in a while, you find a gal who like legit doesn't like sex. They're very. Do you like tacos? I guess sure. That I would say is the universal. But yes, there's some gals who really don't like it. But you get the right guy. You get the right guy with the right ingredients who makes the world's best tacos, she'll be lined up at that taco shop. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.